welcome to Prairie Loft. And I have this book called Mud Puddle. Now, it is sunny today, and this book is one of my favorite books to read to the groups out at Prairie Loft. And I thought I would come by our own mud puddle here. And I'm not necessarily, well, I sort of am under a tree. That one and this big one behind me. I'm under a tree, but I am also sitting on a tree out here that came down probably a while ago. But I thought I would read Mud Puddle by Robert Munch. One of my favorite books out here. Let's see. Julianne's mother bought her a clean new clothes. Julianne put on a clean new shirt, button up the front, put on clean new pants, button them up at the front. Then she walked outside and sat down under a tree. Kind of like what we're doing right now. Are you sitting under a tree on this beautiful day? Unfortunately, hiding up in the apple tree, there was a mud puddle. It saw Julianne sitting there, and it jumped right on her head. She got completely muddy all over. Even her ears were full of mud. Ew. Julianne ran inside yelling, "Mommy, Mommy, a mud puddle jumped on me!" Her mother picked her up, took off all her clothes, and plopped her into a tub full of water. She scrubbed Julianne till she was red all over. She washed out her ears. She washed out her eyes. She even washed out her mouth. Ew. Julianne put on a clean new shirt, buttoned it up the front. She put on clean new pants, buttoned them up the front. Then she looked outside, out the back window door. She could see so she walked outside and sat down in her sandbox. What do you think? Is that safe? The sandbox was next to the house, and hiding up on top of the house, there was a mud puddle. It saw Julianne sitting down there, and it jumped right onto her head. She got completely muddy all over. Even her nose was full of mud. Oh, poor Julianne. Julianne ran inside, yelling, "Mommy, Mommy, a mud puddle jumped on me!" Julianne's mother picked her up, took off all her clothes, and dropped her into a tub of water. She scrubbed Julianne till she was red all over. She washed out her ears, she washed out her eyes, she washed out her mouth, she even washed out her nose. Oh. Julianne put on a clean new shirt and buttoned it up the front. Then she put on clean new pants and buttoned them up the front. Then she had an idea. She reached way back into her closet and got a big yellow raincoat. She put it on and walked outside. There was no mud puddle anywhere, so she yelled, "Hey, mud puddle!" Nothing happened. So she yelled even louder, "Hey, mud puddle!" Do you suppose it's listening, the mud puddle right there? Kind of hope not. Julianne was standing in the sunshine in her raincoat, getting very hot. She pulled back her hood. Nothing happened. She took off her raincoat. And soon as she took off her coat. Out from behind the doghouse, there came the mud puddle. It ran across the grass and jumped right on Julianne's head. She got completely muddy all over. Man. There's a fly that likes the front of the camera. Julianne ran inside yelling, "Mommy, Mommy, a mud puddle jumped on me!" Her mother picked her up, took took off all her clothes, and dropped her in a tub full of water. She scrubbed Julianne till she was red all over. She washed out her ears, she washed out her eyes, she washed out her mouth, she washed out her nose, she even washed out her belly button. I admit, sometimes you do need to wash your belly button. Julianne put on a clean new shirt and buttoned it up the front. She put on clean new pants, buttoned them up the front. Then she sat by the back door because she was too afraid to go outside. I would be too if that many mud puddles jumped on me. You stay there, mud puddle, okay? Then she had an idea. She reached way up to the sink and took a bar of smelly yellow soap. She gave it a smell. Ugh! She took another bar of smelly yellow soap, gave it another smell. Yuck! She put the smelly yellow soap in her pockets. I wonder what she's going to do. You listening, Mud Puddle? Then she ran out to the middle of the backyard and yelled, "Hey, Mud Puddle!" The Mud Puddle jumped over the fence and ran right toward her. Oh no. What's going to happen? Julianne threw a bar of soap right into the Mud Puddle's middle. The Mud Puddle stopped. Julianne threw the other bar of soap right into the Mud Puddle. The Mud Puddle said, it ran across the fence, the grass, jumped over the fence, and never came back. Look at that. She made it go away with soap. I think that is pretty cool. The end. Thanks for listening to one of my favorite stories. All right. Be happy, be well, and keep that mud puddle out of your nose, ears, and belly buttons. Goodbye, friends.